Hello, guys, and welcome back to our podcast, Vital You. I'm Maya,
I'm Viola.
and today we're going to discuss how to deal with anxiety as high school students.
But first, we would like to check up on what is going on in our lives. So, how have you been this week, Maria?
I have been great. However, I have been going through a lot of things lately because we have a lot of projects at school, and we don't even have a lot of tests, but it's just, the teachers pressuring us into doing all of our homework, and me, of course, pressuring myself into training and doing all of these extra activities. So this week hasn't been the best for me, but I'm here to change my whole night routine and, start fresh and actually see some progress towards some better results. And how have you been feeling this week?
I'm actually really great. I'm proud of myself because I made myself a promise at the beginning of the year, actually, to fix my sleep schedule because it's actually so bad. Like, I go to bed so late and I don't even realize that it's so late. But then I wake up a little wrecked the next day. So this week, I made it a goal for myself. The first one was to go to bed at 9 p.m. on Tuesday because we had a math test on Wednesday. And I actually was 9 p.m. sharp, I was in bed and I fell asleep so fast because I had this sleep supplement that really helps you fall asleep fast and have a deep, good quality sleep. And then yesterday, I gave myself a goal to be in bed by 10 p.m., and I also completed that. So I'm proud of myself for that.
So, lately, with all of the external pressure from school and my teachers and from myself, I have been feeling a lot of anxiety, and it has been projecting in my sleep and in the way I work throughout the day. I haven't been functioning that well as I expected to be functioning. I am really tired throughout the day. I don't accomplish all of the things that I set myself to do throughout the day. And it has really had a huge impact on my mind as I have been feeling unaccomplished and just not doing enough for myself lately. I was actually expecting to be more productive, but it hasn't been turning out as I was expecting it to be. And that's why I'm here today to find a solution for this, because I feel like this is a really important topic to talk about, especially when you're a high school or a uni student.
And we would also like to remind you guys that it is completely normal. You're not weird or anything. You don't need to immediately go see a doctor. Of course, if it's excessive and you can't function, you don't know how to deal with it, maybe some medical attention would be necessary. But that normal anxiety you get from school, it's completely normal. So don't even feel afraid to talk about it. And it also doesn't have to be exactly caused by something obvious. The combination of all the factors around you that are stressing you out just even a little bit, it all accumulates and then it just bursts, and that is when you can feel anxious and you don't even know where it specifically came from. It was just life happening around you, and it's completely okay.
Anxiety can look different, and we're just going to talk about our anxiety and how we would deal with it. And then for you, you just either take some advice from us or try coming up with similar ideas specifically for yourself.
Lately for us, it has been looking a lot like going to sleep and you're basically all ready for bed, you're half asleep already, and then for example, me, I would randomly wake up and I'd be just like, "Oh no, I forgot to do this thing or I forgot to do that thing." And then I'm laying in bed and I'm contemplating whether I can remember it until the next day, if I should turn the light on, write it down, do all these stuff, and then try to fall asleep again or just risk it until the next morning. Then I'm stressed that if I risk it, then I'm gonna forget it. Then it just projects into my dreams. So the tasks or the thoughts, they're obviously negative thoughts. So they project into my dreams, and then I wake up, I feel stressed. I remember those dreams that I felt stressed in, that these thoughts were haunting me, and it just all kind of builds up in me even more.
And basically, everything builds up and none of your stress disappears. So for me, this has been also happening. Whenever I try to fall asleep, I can't. It lasts me for like 30 minutes minimum because I keep thinking about all of those small things that I had to do throughout the day, but I just didn't do them. And I basically regret all of my decisions and my actions that I did throughout the day. That's why I can't fall asleep quickly. And this also stresses me out because then I realize that because I'm not falling asleep quickly, I just lost 30 minutes of good quality sleep.
But that is like so real actually. And even like my sleep schedule, it just stresses me out that when I like waste time by thinking about all these little things that I didn't do during the day that I was supposed to do and I forgot to do. And then it projects into that stress of, losing sleep and then stressing about the next day. How tired am I going to be? How much it will affect me? And it's basically just another stress factor, which is actually absurd because sleep and being in bed is the time that you're supposed to be relaxed. And for me, it is like probably one of the most stressful times of day because of all
Yeah,
these little
exactly.
thoughts coming in.
That's why I really like morning and morning routines because that is like the start of the day, and my night routine is like the furthest away from me. Night routine should be like romanticized, and it should be like one of your favorite parts of the day because you're finally at home, you're relaxed, you're just making time for yourself, and it shouldn't be stressful and everything. And also, whenever I'm stressed throughout the day, it also reflects on to what I dream about.
Yeah, lately I've been dreaming all about stuff like being a failure. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be like failing a test or failing my long run or even just like disappointing my friends or not being reliable. And sometimes, in the worst dreams of all these four just happen at the same time in the same dream, and that is like the worst combination. I sometimes like it's such of a bad nightmare that I actually like wake up from it. And then I again take time to fall asleep during the night. It's like 3 a.m. I'm awake again, and then I'm struggling to fall asleep again because I just woke up from this nightmare and I'm scared that I'm gonna dream about it again. And again, I'm losing sleep, I'm stressed about that, and it's just all in a cycle, which that is why I feel like it is so important to know how to deal well with anxiety, which is going to be our next topic.
So now let's discuss what actually helps to release some of your anxiety and feel a little better. So, of course, this will be focused on your night routine, as that is basically what leads to your sleep, and then sleep leads to a better next day. The first point would be journaling or just brain dumping, basically writing down some tasks or goals or just ideas that build up in your brain and that affect you to have a better sleep. So I would recommend buying like a notebook and put it somewhere near to your bed. And whenever you go to sleep and you just, have these ideas, waking up and writing down those thoughts is going to really help you to stop thinking about them and actually knowing that you have them written on the paper and you can see them tomorrow and not having to remember all those thoughts and then being scared that you'll forget them the next morning.
That is actually genius. I should probably try that for myself. Another tip from us would be to try some breathing techniques or meditation, especially if it's like the middle of the day or you're just out and about somewhere at school or something, and you just really need to like quickly calm yourself down, at least short term. Just try to take a couple of deep breaths, maybe close your eyes, really try to reassure yourself that you're safe, you're okay. The world is not going to end when you fail your math test or something. This would definitely be a good relaxation technique when you need that immediate relief.
Yeah, and I just wanted to point out that not everything is about having good grades and succeeding in all of your tests because no one is going to be asking you in 2 or 3 years, what was your grade for this specific math test? No one is going to even know that you wrote this test. So just, relax. And even if you know that you're going to fail this test, then what happens? Like, you're going to fail, then you're going to maybe rewrite it, and you're going to have a better grade.
Tip number 3 would be taking a break from your phone and social media in general, because we often don't realize it, but a lot of this unnecessary stress and anxiety comes from the impact of social media. And us comparing our lives and ourselves to these people we see on the screen all the time. You scroll for an hour on TikTok and you pass all these different types of people that have all these different interesting lives, or so it seems, on the highlight reel of social media. And then you unconsciously, probably unconsciously, compare yourself and your life to them. And that creates more and more stress and further elevates your anxiety. So, taking a break from social media and rather investing that time that you would normally use scrolling, doing something you like, whatever hobby you enjoy doing. So, whether that is some sports or baking or just going out with friends and living the actual life, the offline life. And all this just, it really helps to release endorphins, think about something else than just what is stressing you out in your life. Just overall, like, take a break, not just from the phone, but from serious things that are going on in your life in general.
Yeah, just imagine yourself being a YouTuber and trying to film like a viral video on how my day looks like. If I was to film this video, I would never, put there like moments when I'm doing nothing. And I feel like it's the same for the influencers. They just extract the best moments from their day. Just imagine yourself doing this and acknowledge the fact that you are not going to be putting online those moments when you do nothing. And it's the same for them, basically. So just know this and don't compare yourself to all of the social media. The next tip would be to talk to someone that you trust when you have anxiety. It's either your friends or your family, just sharing those triggering thoughts and making sure that they don't just stay to you and that you can actually, release them somehow. Even if you don't want to share this, you can write them down. This also helps, picturing them in front of you and then maybe coming with a solution. Because when you have all of those thoughts packed in your mind, you have chaos in them. But when you actually write them down, you can clearly see them in front of you, and that will help you to have some better ideas on how to deal with those thoughts and just, have less anxiety then.
And please, guys, if you are fortunate enough and you have access to therapy, and even if you don't feel like you need it, just give it a try, because again, we like don't realize it, but I feel like therapy can be beneficial for literally anyone. And after you make sure that they're a good fit to you, because not everyone is, they will come up even with like prompts and ideas of what you can talk about in that therapy session, and you will open up all these like traumas and all these triggering thoughts that you wouldn't even realize you were having without therapy. Talking to someone, a friend or a therapist, it doesn't really matter, whatever fits you best, will help you know those triggers. And the next time you're not feeling great, you're having a bit of an anxiety or a panic attack, you can reflect back on what you found out about yourself in those conversations and maybe think, have I been doing something that has been triggering me? And now it has had such an impact that I'm having an anxiety attack. So it is also a great way to kind of learn about yourself better.
And the last tip is whenever you feel anxious in public and you just don't feel like talking to someone or just, sharing your thoughts, we would recommend creating a playlist or reading a book or just, doing something where you don't have to share your thoughts, but actually refocusing our mind on something else. So either listening to a podcast or creating a calming playlist or reading a book that makes you feel safe and makes you just forget for a moment about all of your thoughts. Because actually, when you forget about them for the moment, you don't think about them, then when you come back to them, you'll probably have better solutions for them, and that will just help you to deal with your anxiety.
So, if you're a fellow struggling student, just like we are, this is your reminder that you are not alone and you are not broken. There is nothing wrong with you. And remember that you are not your anxiety. That is not your entire identity. It is just a part of life that is currently happening. It is just a mini chapter in the whole book that you are writing with your life. And it is normal to feel like this sometimes, but not all the time. And remember that it is just temporary, and with time, this feeling will pass.
Yeah, and that's why we encourage you guys to reach out to your friends or your family and either ask them whether they're going through this and, share your thoughts on this and help them to deal with anxiety, or just for yourself trying to figure out your whole situation and them helping you with your anxiety.
So, we would like to thank you guys so much for listening and spending time with us today. And we would strongly encourage you to find help if you feel like you need it. Remember that our DMs are always open for you, so Vital You on Instagram. Make sure to check that out and follow us as well.
And make sure to subscribe or leave a like and a comment on this episode. And we're excited to see you guys in our next episode.